All right, the start of the new school year can sometimes be a little chaotic, and by sometimes we mean every single year. But being organized can help relieve some of the stress.
Indeedy. Tina is standing by with a professional organizer to get some tips on how to get ahead of the paper clutter. Clutter makes me twitch.
You know, I'm guilty of that big time. Tidy with Trista. It's Trista Beville joining us right now. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me back.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you back too. All right, we're talking about getting back to school and organizing the kids, really organizing ourselves, right? So where should we start?
Yes. Well, I want to go over 3 things with you guys today. Okay. So the first is going to be a routine for your backpack, system for your paper, and then I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to determine what should be kept and what needs to go in the recycle bin.
Okay, we're taking notes. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with the backpack routine. So it's so important to have a designated spot for your kiddo's backpack, somewhere that they know where to put it when they get home from school. It's going to be there in the morning when we're going to school, and we want to make sure it's accessible. So my kid is 5, so I have it low. The best thing to do is just slap on a command hook wherever makes sense in your home, so he can reach it. And of course, Sissy has to have a backpack too. She's almost 2, but you know how it is with siblings.
Yeah.
Have to do what big brother does, right? Yeah. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the paper situation, right? We need to have systems for paper. So every day we empty the backpack because we don't want to let it sit. There's going to be 2 different types of paper that we are going to find in the backpack. And as I'm talking to you, I want you guys to think of this kind of as a template. It's going to change a little bit depending on how many kiddos you have, their ages, so kind of modify it for your own family. But the 2 types of papers that you're going to get are either action items, which is going to be something you need to reference or something that needs to go back to the school. This we want to keep separate in a simple paper tray. You can put it on your fridge, whatever makes sense for your family.
Yeah.
And then the rest is going to be what you potentially have to go through that we might want to keep. So for me, I have this bottom drawer designated in a desk, and I put all his papers in there. That's what we need to go through.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't have time every day to go through the paper and like, oh, do I want to keep this? Do I not? I don't have time for that every single day. So this is my spot to throw it. And then once a week, every other week, or honestly, when the drawer gets full, that's when it tells me it's time to go through it, right?
All right, got it.
Yeah, and so once we figure out what we're going to keep, then I love to move it into something like this. It's a file box separated by grade. It's easy to reference.
That makes me happy.
And what you want to note on this, yes, it sets a boundary for how much you can keep, right? Because if it's just an empty bin,
I just get another bin.
It can just be filled. I know.
No. One bin.
That word, boundary. Yeah, so we have to think about when our kids are older, what are they going to want in their 20s, 30s, 40s, right? Even my mom, I mean, I love her to death, but she gave me like 6 bins. I was like, I don't want all this schoolwork, right? So do the work now. Your kiddos will thank you later.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, yeah, questions or anything there? We can move on to the last section.
Yes.
So, lastly, tips on how to determine what stays and what goes.
This is my next question.
I know some parents are like, I don't keep anything.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you're a sentimental parent, everything is special that your child makes. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But we have to think at the end of the day, what do we want to keep? So what I recommend is creating a guideline for you to review for each paper. So for me, I have 3 things on it right now. It's going to change as you go. So the first thing is going to be, okay, footprints, handprints, picture, obvious keep for me. Other than that, is it the first time they did something, wrote their name, wrote something in cursive maybe?
Okay.
And then also, is it an original piece of art or an original story? Not just like the color and the lines, fill in the blank. And as they get older, you can kind of see like what your criteria is. But if you have a paper and it doesn't meet anything on the criteria, then it's gonna, you know, you gotta
86.
recycle it.
All right.
It doesn't make the cut.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Trista Beville. And your social media, how people can get a hold of you is?
Yes. So it's just Tidy with Trista on all the social platforms, tidywithtrista.com. You can find me there.
Thank you so much. Great. Courtney always scolds me because I keep so many things. It's emotional to me, you know? And I just went through some of the things, and I found Karina's paper, her little paper that wrote what her mom means to her.
Aww.
I had to keep that.
See, that's a keeper.
Yeah, that was a keeper.
Yeah.
So I said, do you remember you wrote this? I go, she's like, no.
Yeah, the handprint turkey, that can go though.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Trista. You take care. Until next time.
Yeah.
Great tips.
Thank you.